was like watching the human embodiment of like doubt. This guy is just going through his normal day-to-day life, and then all of a sudden he feels like he's being followed in his own home, and he's questioning everything, and you know, he does everything by the book the same way every day, and it asks the question like, who are you? Like, what are you doing? And then he gets to see this character, this almost like version of himself, follow him around and like slouch down and like be dead in the kitchen. And it's like, is that a symbol for his spirit, his identity, like any of it? It was just a really, really interesting concept, and it's a question that a lot of people have to ask themselves from time to time as they get stuck doing the mundane, telling themselves they got this.
A psychological thriller. It was unnerving for the character, but also unnerving for the audience because you don't really know what's going on, and you want to be able to tell him like what you see, but every time he comes in contact with this other version of himself, it disappears. And yeah, and then it was interesting that he was able to interact with him once he was like on the floor drinking and, you know, under the influence, and he was able to have that interaction. And I wonder if it was if they were visually able to see each other, because I know he was hiding his face and he said, "Don't look at me." So I think there's a lot of different ways that you can interpret this, but I thought it was really well performed. I liked the editing a lot. I really liked the last shot where he goes outside and he's kind of blinded by the sun, and then slowly it all kind of focuses again, and the lighting corrects itself, and he kind of has this moment of peace and acknowledgement. And I just thought that like visually that scene was really beautiful and well done. Yeah, and I thought that all of the like the creative elements were really well done. I thought the performance was great, especially for something with very little dialogue and just one character. I thought that the actor really hit it out of the park, and yeah, really engaging film. I felt like I was kind of on my toes the whole time, being like, what is going to happen? What's going on?
It's an in-depth look at mental illness and what it can do to a person. It actually did it very, very well to show that mental illness makes it look like you're two different people, that you're warring within yourself. The true you is inside, it just can't come out. But you don't feel like yourself, you feel like a shell of yourself. This film did a good job at showing that. It shows what mental illness can do to a person through the eyes of mental illness.
This is a great, thrilling story with lots of mystery and amazing performance. They use amazingly cool special effects, and they also use different elements to bring forward this intruder. The danger is pervasive. You feel threatened. It is just amazing. I had a great time watching this, even though it's very short. I really enjoyed it.
Very trippy to say the least. It definitely has that horror element of starting in the normal, the mundane, before jumping up to 11 like that. There was definitely a lot of ambiguity throughout this, where I think the message is basically our main character has lost himself, and every time he looks at himself, he vanishes. I think that's symbolic in the sense of obviously he doesn't know who he is, but also the fact that whenever he tries to look at himself, he can't see himself until he finally realizes what he's become, and that's when he doesn't want to be looked at, 'cause he doesn't want to see what he used to be and where he's at now. And upon realizing that, that's where he reaches that clarity, and he finally gets that sense of freedom.
I think this person just had a mundane life, very down, depressed, lost hope, didn't have the support he needed or the mental help that he needed. Just really well done. I thought it was really neat because you were kind of guessing for a while on what was happening here with the. It was cool that it was just a really, really cool way to show somebody what they're thinking or going through during their death. It was just a cool take on it. Kept me guessing, of course. In the beginning, I didn't really know what was happening if somebody was at the door, because I've had those moments where you're sleeping and the phone rings, and the phone ring is incorporated into your dream. It was kind of the opposite here, where the knock at the door was being incorporated, but it was the door, basically death at the door. There was a lot of symbolism here, and just a short period of time, and a sad story.
You don't know what's going to happen with this guy, and yeah, it's tense till the very end. It's pretty solid overall. Very good cinematography, I think. I think that's a very good part of this, especially.